Hi guys, welcome back to today's video. So I've decided to do a ranking video. I think I've owned almost every single release that Colourpop has ever done. So I'm actually going to split this into two videos. So this video was going to be on my 9-pan palettes, okay? And then I'm going to do another one on the kind of more cardboard based palettes, so the 12 and then sometimes the little bit bigger palettes. So we're going to split that across two different ones. Just so you know that I am not lying to you, okay? These are my beautiful 9-pan palettes. And this is not all of them. So before we start this countdown list, so we're going to start with the bottom and then we'll work our way up to the ones that I like more. First thing to note is that I actually had more. So I had the Mar, the Soul, the Proceed with Caution, and the Biddy palette. I had all of those. I never really used the Mar, Soul, or Proceed with Caution, so I depotted them. So I don't have them in the little 9 pans anymore. I used to have them. They probably would be at the bottom of my list because I never really used them. So the Biddy palette, when I got it, I didn't really see it as being a good cohesive palette. It was a bit kind of not that exciting for me. So what I did is I depotted it and then moved it into replace some of the pressed glitters in some of the other palettes. So it's actually the insides of some of my palettes may not look like the inside of your palette simply because I have moved a few things around. And in most cases, I've taken out the pressed glitters. Here is now my Biddy X Colourpop one, and you can see that it is literally now just all pressed glitters. I don't really use the pressed glitters. They kind of get everywhere. They don't really work in my normal day-to-day life. I don't wear glitter a lot. I love glitter. I'm not going to say that I don't love glitter. I'm just going to say that I don't really use it. Do a countdown from the bottom and work our way to our favorite palettes. I had a hard time at the very top because I like quite a few of them and I use them for different reasons. So it's not like I hate the ones at the bottom. It's just whether or not I use them a lot. So in the autumn, I think, Colourpop on their website. So remember that I'm in the UK, so I don't have Ulta or Sephora here, so I can't go into any of those shops and buy anything directly. So I can only do ordering online from US-based brands. And so when I saw these three come up at Colourpop.com, I was like, ooh, 3 new palettes, that's exciting. And then I found out that actually they've been being sold at Ulta for some period of time. They're at the bottom of my pile, 1, because I really haven't used them at all since getting them, and 2, at least, especially this one, Bird of Paradise one, I don't really reach for this at all. I am going to keep it, I am going to try and use it, and especially as we move towards summer, I bet you I'm going to probably use it a bit more, but not that excited. Night Owl was the one that I actually really wanted because of these kind of more mustardy tones. Still, I haven't really used it. I just need to get into it and use it. And Lovebird is probably the one that looks the least like it should online, is because I have replaced, I think these couple are from the Biddy palette, but I think that looks quite nice. Number 15 is going to be the Brown Sugar palette. Absolutely nothing wrong with this palette. It's really lovely. It has some really, really pretty colors in it. Sorry. There we go. It's not one I reach for. I have another kind of neutrals palette that I definitely enjoy a lot more, and that's closer to the top. It's at the top of my other list, so we'll get there in another video, but for now, Brown Sugar, not really for me. Next up is a brand new release, really, and yeah, again, not for me. It's a beautiful palette, but it's the Going Coconuts. I don't know why I bought this. I think I just get on the, ooh, it's new, so I have to have it from Colourpop. It is their neutral, kind of cool-ish toned 9-pan palette. It's cute, it's fine, I definitely will use it, but it's not really something that I'm that excited about, to be totally honest with you. So that was number 14, and number 13 is actually the Orange You Glad palette. I just don't tend to wear a lot of these kind of bright orangey kind of colors. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them. They're beautiful. Even this pressed glitter in here is really, really pretty. But I think I've used it 5 or 6 times since I bought it. Number 12 is actually the Smoke Show palette. I know for a lot of people, they really, really love this palette, and I did too. I mean, I do like it. I think it's a really lovely kind of cool toned and some warm toned grays. But I don't know, it's probably maybe my inexperience with makeup because I am just an enthusiast. I'm not someone who does it professionally. I've never worked in a makeup shop or anything like that. That when I try and do a look with it, it just really weighs down my eyes and they look so bruised and not very elegant looking. I don't know. I just really I don't care for the way that it makes my face look. I will keep it. I'm going to keep on trying, but somehow those kind of dark silvers and grays just don't really look that great with my skin tone. Okay, so next on the list is we are at number 11, and it is the Baby Got Peach palette. It's quite similar actually to the Orange You Glad palette. It's just kind of more on the pale side. It is very pretty. It's just, I don't know. I have my notes down here and I put yawn. So I guess maybe I just think it's a bit of a boring palette. It's not that exciting to me. It's almost neutral in its tones, so it's okay. It's fine. I use this more than the orange one anyway, so. Okay, number 10 is my brand new Mint to Be palette. I just did a little review of this so you can see my thoughts on it. I do like it, but it's not a palette that stands on its own whatsoever. It is a companion palette to other deeper greens that you might have in your collection. I love it. I think it's really pretty, but did I need it? No. Am I going to use it all the time? No. So that's why it's down here at number 10. Number 9 is the Strawberry Shake palette. I actually do use this one a fair amount. I do like the kind of brilliant, kind of hot pink kind of colors with it. I don't know why it's down at number 9. I think it's just the other ones I use more or I have a bit of a better connection to. I have a lot of pink eyeshadows or pinky toned ones, so that's probably why this one is not as exciting to me as some of the other palettes. A bit of a surprise, and it was kind of a surprise to me, but at number 8 is the Honey palette. I know a lot of people rank this as their least favorite Colourpop palette, or at least their least favorite 9-pan Colourpop palette. I really like it, and I got a lot of use out of it over the summer when it came out, and I actually really want to use it a bit more. So you can see I think it's a really beautiful palette. Is it a bit one-dimensional in that there's not a lot of different kind of looks you can get with it? Yes, I completely agree with that. It's not that exciting in that way. It's really beautiful to me. I think on my skin tone, somehow the yellows look really, really sharp and vibrant. So I enjoyed this immensely. I actually thought about putting it a bit higher, but then I thought about which ones I use, and it kind of wasn't one I used that much. Number 7 is one of my very first 9-pan Colourpop palettes, which is the Ooh La La palette. If I open it up, you can see I haven't used it that terribly much, but what I like is that it has a variety of different kind of pinks into it. You can do something that's a little bit softer with like these 3 that are a bit more kind of warm pinky kind of things. You can do something that's a little bit hot pink. You can get into kind of purpley tones. So I really like it as a palette. I haven't reached for it very much recently. I think I've been going more into like the green, grungy kind of colors, but definitely one of my favorites. Next up at number 6 is the Main Squeeze palette. So this is the, I think it was their 5-year anniversary collection with the watermelon theme. I got a huge amount of use out of this. It probably doesn't look it that much in the pan, but it is pretty gross in there. So what I like about this is that you get these really deep, rich red tones from it. I like a really dark look. Most of the time I'm wearing a pastel-y kind of look today, but I do find it to be a really exciting palette and really fun to use. So definitely up there on my list. If you hear any meowing in the background, that is Betty and Stella chasing each other. I apologize. They're cats. They do what they like. So, okay, now into my top 5. So this one really surprised me because I bought it on a whim, and then I'm like, oh, I'm never going to use it. Why did I do this? Oh, I hate Disney. Why did I support them? It's the Elsa palette, the Frozen 2 Elsa palette. Yeah. I've decluttered all of my other Disney products that I bought from Colourpop. But it's these colors. Something about them just really work well for me. I pretty much use these 3 just over and over and over again, and they make the most beautiful cranberry colored look on my eyes. And then this is a topper shade. I don't really use the glitter, obviously, but the other ones just with this really beautiful cool looks. And I don't know, I wore it since I've got it. I've worn it a couple of times a week at least. I absolutely love it. I went on holiday back in cat claws scrabbling. I went on holiday back in December, and this is one of the palettes that I brought with me. Number 4 is the Blue Moon palette. When this came out, I was so excited. I made an order immediately for this palette. I do absolutely love it. Ew, that's a bit dirty. I do absolutely love it. I'm still trying to figure out how to make blue shades work well on my face and with my skin tone. When I wear them, it makes me look very pale and very sickly. So while I love this palette and I have used it a huge amount, sometimes some of the colors don't really gel well with my skin. So I'm still trying to figure out how to use it best for my skin and, you know, in a way that makes this palette really shine. Okay, number 3, we're in the top 3 now. Okay, number 3 is actually the Lilac You A Lot palette. And I think it's probably because I love purples that I really like this. But I don't know if you can tell, this one, there's cat hair in there. Of course there's cat hair in there. I have used this quite a bit. I really love this palette. I think you get quite a lot of cool depth with it. And then paired with my number 2 palette, which is the It's My Pleasure, you can get some really beautiful purple looks. I think of all of the pastel palettes that have come out, the Lilac You A Lot is definitely my top one. And I think it's the one that one of the ones I've used the most since it came out. So I really, really love this palette. As I've already sneak previewed, the It's My Pleasure palette. This and the Ooh La La were the first 2 9-pan palettes that I got from Colourpop, and I have used it an enormous amount. I don't know if you can see the dips in each of the pressed or the more glittery shades, but I have used this a huge amount. I used Pretty Cruel and Sleeper together, and that's like a really great deep, warm purpley kind of combination. And then Kitten Fish and Fanfiction and Sleeper together also look really good. This Earthshine color is just so beautiful. I absolutely love it. So this is just, I think it's one of their best palettes that they've come out with. It is more leaning pinky purple than deep purple, and I really look forward to them doing like a blue purple kind of palette, so like a grape themed palette or something like that. I think that would be super cool, but It's My Pleasure, love it. And this surprised me, not in that it was my top palette, but when I got it and I started using it, it surprised me how much I loved it, and that was the Just My Luck palette, which is my number 1 9-pan palette from Colourpop. You get so many cool looks with this palette, and the colors are just absolutely beautiful. I love it. I use it so much. It's definitely one of my top palettes that I own completely. I think it has a beautiful color story. There's a lot of depth there, and the shimmers are so cool. That Mary Jane here in the middle. I mean, come on, guys. That is so cool. I love it. And this one, Olive You. It's just such a beautiful color. Okay, guys, so that's it. That's me ranking my 9-pan Colourpop palettes. We'll come back in a few days and we'll do my cardboard 12-pan palettes, which I don't have as many of because I've decluttered a lot of them. Anyway, that's it for today. So we'll see you next time. Bye.